Hey, are you a Canva user? If you are, in this video I'm going to discuss how to use Canva Artificial Intelligence version 2.0. First, you will need a Canva account, obviously. Now, you can create a free account. However, I'm not 100% sure if you would have access to the artificial intelligence and or all the features. You know what I'm saying? Also, this is just kind of a basic how-to since I do not actually possess a Canva account, so I cannot demonstrate. Okay, so what you're going to do is you can browse to canva.com/canva-AI. Now it's been in existence for a few years now, but this is a major upgrade, and that's what I'm going to discuss. In order to use it, I will show you some images of what you'll see on the front end. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to have a conversation and you're going to input your prompt into an artificial intelligence conversation chatbot interface. However, with version 2 it's quite a bit different. All right? So you're going to want to start out with a conversation and have a plan or a marketing idea or an idea for an image or whatever you use Canva for, right? Then after that, you can actually use artificial intelligence agents, which an artificial intelligence agent is type of artificial intelligence that allows you to run tasks. You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to want to edit your created objects. So you have a prompt, and then it will use agents, or you'll be able to select agents and it'll perform tasks. Then you can edit your objects after it creates objects. Now it also remembers your creations and suggests when appropriate. So that's basically the 4 steps. This is a very basic how-to. But I'm going to now show you some captures, and I wanted to go over this, but I didn't want to, go over this at the beginning. But this is very annoying. So this is strike number 1 for Canva.com. You notice down here the cookie message? I think you probably see it. And you can't click outside of it. You can't click a close. I'm very strict when it comes to computer security, and that includes tracking cookies. Now let's see what happens if I click on manage. Okay, something popped up and it didn't work. All right, well, let me refresh the page. I never edit my videos. I 100% freestyle them. And so let's see what happened. It'll probably prompt me, pop up. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that, but hey, that's strike number 1. All right, here are some preview images of what artificial intelligence version 2 will look like. All right, so as you can see on the left hand side, you have a prompt, and they asked it to create a multi-channel campaign, and then it started running some artificial intelligence agent tasks, and I'm assuming you can choose them too. And then now you're going to edit. You're going to edit the object that was created. Okay, so there's one. Here's another one. You can ask to create a meeting summary, which was going to use artificial intelligence agent. So you're going to basically have a conversation with the artificial intelligence, and then you're going to describe. You want to get very specific and very detailed. Here's a example, and then it designs, and then it actually creates an object, and then you can, after the fact, you can edit the objects, and then it's supposed to have machine learning. So in the future, it will remember what you created, and it will suggest when appropriate. And I think even after the fact, you can ask it further tasks, and you might even be able to tell it what tasks you want it to run, which is what artificial intelligence agent is. Yeah, agentic orchestration. So here's a prompt, and then create a social campaign. Okay, And then, so you've got it created an object, and you can edit after the fact. And I believe you could choose the different sizes. Okay, here's another one. Create a multi-channel campaign to launch. It's just more examples of creating campaigns. Okay, what's this? Oh, it's got a lot. It remembers your prompts. It remembers your previous projects, creations, objects, blah, ad nauseum, ad infinitum, etc. Okay, here's another image. It asks you what you want to design. And then you type in the prompt, and then you click on the key. Is it gonna, and then it created a meeting agenda. Oh, coding. I'll get to that. This is not an example of, well, this may or may not be an example of coding. Okay, so basically it's no code coding. Scheduling. You can create schedules. Again, those would be artificial intelligence agent. All right. Here, oh, you can research. Here's an example of research, and I'll expound upon each one of these features, but I wanted to show you what it's artificial intelligence 2.0. And here's another example. Intelligence. It remembers. It's going to remember your branding even. And then what can happen is that when necessary, it will interject and inject, so to speak, your branding when necessary. And then actually, I think you can even request it. Let's say for some reason it doesn't include your branding, or you want your branding included in maybe an older project. You ask it to brand it, and it's supposed to brand your colors, a logo, etc. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, here's the branding intelligence right here. Create an investor presentation, and then it's got your branding right there. It's got your colors. It's got your what is Ava supposed to be your brand or whatever. Yeah, the colors, the yellow and black. Oh, code. Now this I would call, you're not going to code. This is what I would refer to as no programming code. Or right. So, but behind the scenes, it's actually using agents, artificial intelligence agents, and it's creating a real programming code. Now, whether or not you can edit the code, I am not sure. But they call it code. That's because like this is building a calendar, and so that requires programming code. It does, in order to create a calendar or a schedule or whatnot. That's actually programming code. Okay, there's an example. You can create spreadsheets, and not just spreadsheets, not an empty one. If you want, you can ask it to create a spreadsheet with real data. And I think you might be able to import data into Canva. Okay, is that the last one? All right, I want to make sure I show those. And then, but I also want to let you know that it says coming soon. That's close. That's close to strike two. I mean, that's from the 1990s, and there's a concept on the internet called bounce rate, and it's a real statistic that website owners and developers study. Internet marketing sales. Your bounce rate may be higher because you put coming soon. Chances are people are not going to bookmark. They're not going to remember. They're not going to care. And then why would you put coming soon? They may have worked in the 1990s. That's what, remember those under construction? Remember in the 1990s, hypertext markup language? You would have a page that was blank, and then you would put under construction. Well, coming soon is very similar. If it's not ready, and then nobody's going to know. Well, what do you mean coming soon? That's very vague. Oh, 10 years from now or tomorrow? Whatever. And I've noticed that more and more with these artificial intelligence tools, and these companies are rolling out these tools, and they use coming soon. It's like that's a big time bounce rate risk. Okay, Now let me go more into detail about these features. Okay. Okay. So you're just going to be prompting. You're going to be, and you want to become as detailed as possibly, right? And then it will create, it maybe create like an entire marketing campaign. I mean, it's just incredible because I don't think before, I could be wrong, they may not have had agentic artificial intelligence and then the coding too, okay? So it's going to use artificial intelligence agents, and then but you can any objects that are created, you can edit them after the fact. It uses machine learning, so your creations are supposed to be remembered, and then in the future, it will suggest when appropriate. You know what I'm saying? It can suggest, okay, do you want a calendar with this, or if it's a spreadsheet, do you want CapEx, or do you want your logo here, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, they didn't have, I don't think they had an example. You can connect to existing workflows such as Slack. Yeah, that's not a very, in the corporate world, I don't work in corporate America, I'm self-employed, but yeah, I get it. You slack off means you're not working much. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. I mean, is that a pun? Okay. Gmail, Google Gmail, email, Google Drive, which allows you to store data, Google Calendar, Notion, Zoom, the video tool, HubSpot, and others. So what you can do is you can connect to existing workflows and create something on Canva, and then potentially export it or import it into the external work, company or service, and then work on it from there. Or maybe you could import from them. You could bring email into Canva and then go from there. As an example, schedule tasks to run in the background. So these would be which would be it's agentic artificial intelligence. You can run them manually, but you can also schedule them to run in the background, and then it'll just run. And then when it's finished, it may or may not email you, or may not notify you. Okay. Now you can use Canva now to perform web research manually. So you could type in a prompt and ask it, okay, search the web for data pertaining to a product or service, and go from there. Also, you can automatically schedule a web search. That would be agentic artificial intelligence. Again, remember, pun intended, your brand. It will remember your brand, and then it will apply it when appropriate, and you can even manually ask it, okay, insert brand. I think you can go back and work on an older Canva project of yours that obviously, wouldn't have been used with artificial intelligence, so they're right. And then, so therefore, it wouldn't remember the project or the object, and you can ask it, okay, insert branding or modify this object or project with branding, with my branding. Generate code with a prompt. Okay, now you can import hypertext markup language or other artificial intelligence experiences. I have no clue what that means. That's very generic, very vague. I don't know what they mean. Artificial intelligence generate images, artificial intelligence spreadsheets, artificial intelligence generated video. I'm not sure. It just says experience. Now you're generating code, and I'm not sure if they have an editor that you can actually see the code. But for an average user, I don't even know if I would even use that term. You know why? Because when it comes to programming code, it is going to look like, I don't know if I can even show you really quick. Oh, do they have an example? This is a Python book. Let me pull up a large example. Yeah, here's, on this page, is code. Yeah, right there. That's real programming code. Even hypertext markup language is tags. So, but you don't see it, and I don't even know if you can edit it. They really, to me, they should have used the term no coding skills necessary. Right? Okay? And then I already went over this. Create a spreadsheet with real data if you wanted to from a prompt. All right, that is this video pertaining to how to use Canva Artificial Intelligence version 2. And one note is that I don't know if it's coming soon, and that could be any day now. But in the future, this information could be still productive. And then in the future, you just would browse to canva.com/canva-AI. They may not ever mention 2.0 again. They'll remove that, and then it'll just be Canva AI. And then maybe they'll have a 3.0, or maybe this is more permanent. I do not know. Just to let you know. Adios.